Hey, what's up everyone? It's Mike, and today we're going to be talking about one of the most important tools in the arsenal of many different entrepreneurs, athletes, and some of the world's most successful and creative minds, and that is meditation. And make sure you guys stick around to the end. I may even throw in a few random dance moves, if you're lucky. We'll see. So let's get into it. If you look at people like Ray Dalio, Kobe Bryant, Steve Jobs, Jerry Seinfeld, Tim Ferriss, Joe Rogan, and the list goes on and on. The one thing that all these people have in common is that in some form or another, they have used meditation as part of the recipe for their success. The monkey mind is the idea that our thoughts are constantly jumping around, shifting our focus, and ultimately preventing us from being present at whatever task is at hand. This idea has been around for thousands of years, but it wasn't until 2010 that Harvard psychologist Matt Killingsworth, as well as his partner Daniel Gilbert, tried to actually quantify what the impact of that monkey mind is on the happiness of people. They did this by building an app that contacted people at random times throughout the day, and it asked them various simple questions like how they were feeling or what they were doing, and if they were thinking about something other than what they currently were doing. After gathering over 250,000 different data points, they found that mind wandering happened in nearly 47% of people, regardless of what activity they were doing. The most important finding of the study was that people were generally more unhappy when their minds were wandering than when people were focused on a task. So what exactly does this have to do with meditation? One of the biggest benefits of meditation is the ability to improve your attention and focus. And to understand how that happens, let's first look at the brain and how it transmits information. The brain transmits information via electrical signals, which we're able to measure as various brain waves. The human brain has 5 different categories of brain waves, which are grouped based on electrical frequency. The first is gamma waves, which are associated with increased compassion, intelligence, more self-control, a better sense of awareness, as well as increased learning capabilities. Beta brainwaves happen when you're really engaged in something or a state where you're very alert and excited, but also it's the same state when you're anxious or in any type of fight or flight situation. Alpha waves happen when we're in a wakeful state and both physically and mentally relaxed. Alpha is the state when we're most creative and usually have better focus and improved learning. This is also when your brain releases endorphins, which are feel-good chemicals that counter the effects of the stress hormones. Next, you have theta waves, which are associated with sleep. And if you've ever found yourself driving and you can't recall what happened in the last 5 minutes because you were daydreaming, it's likely you had drifted into a theta state. Then you have delta waves, which are the slowest of all the brain waves. And these are usually strongest when you're in a really deep sleep and also a dreamless sleep. This is also the state where healing and rejuvenation are stimulated, which is why it's so important to get a good night's sleep. One of the biggest things that happens to our brains when we meditate is that we're actually able to shift our brain waves from the overexcited beta state and into a more calm, focused alpha state. If you ever had one of those creative moments where you came up with a brilliant idea, 1.21 gigawatts. Great God. It most likely came from an alpha state when you were calm and relaxed and not when you were freaking out about what to have for dinner.
I'm so hungry I could ride a horse.
By training your mind through meditation, you're giving yourself a better chance of actually having that breakout idea. Let's face it, we're all going to experience a lot of stuff that sucks in this world, but the more time you spend preparing your mind, the better you'll be able to actually deal with it. There are a ton of different types of meditations out there, and if you want to learn more, I'll link it in the description below, but 2 of the most common ones are mindfulness, where you focus on breathing, and when wandering thoughts start to emerge, you simply return back to focusing on your breath. And then there's also transcendental meditation, which is also known as TM, where a person thinks either a mantra or a sound over and over in their head.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
No, not that sound. Something more along the lines of... It's really popular among celebrities, but kind of has a cult-like following where you have to pay a bunch of money in order to have a teacher tell you which sound to use, which sounds like bullshit to me, but whatever. So if you want to look up a mantra on your own, feel free to do so, and don't pay the $2,000 or whatever it costs to have a teacher tell you what sound to think. I'll put a link in the description for you to be able to find out which mantra to use, and that's exactly what I did when I got started. So once you've actually picked a form of meditation to do, I recommend setting small goals to add this to your daily routine. I do it about twice a day, 20 minutes each session, sometimes more, sometimes less. I usually start my day off with it in the morning since I find it prepares me for whatever I've planned for that day, and then I also like to end my day with it to calm and quiet the mind before going to sleep. I recommend first try 5 minutes or something that you can consistently do each day. The key to building the habit is first being consistent with it, and when you make small commitments like that, you're way more likely to stick to it. Once you've actually strung a month or two together of doing it 5 minutes a day, then you can start to extend the time. As far as how to actually do it, the key is to really make sure that you're relaxed in whatever position that is. I like to sit down, and I usually use a pillow like this to sit on since it puts your hips in a better alignment to be able to sit for longer periods of time comfortably. I'll put a link in the description below if you want to actually check them out. Now I want to hear from you, so let me know in the comments below if you currently meditate or if you have any struggles starting, and I'll try to chime in with some helpful tips. And if you guys like this video, be sure to give it a like, and if you want to level up your real estate, money, and entrepreneurship, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We'll be going through a series of tips to help entrepreneurs be more successful in their businesses as well as their lives. We'll see you guys next time.